Hi guys, welcome back to Top Wisdom. Today's episode is an history episode. We're going to talk about colonial expansion. This is an essay question for grade 10 history learners. They might expect this to come when they write their final exam or their June exam. So guys, it's very important that you listen carefully and you understand this topic. I'm going to explain in different types. I'm going to explain in many ways so that you guys can understand. It's very important that I explain in many ways, guys, so that you can understand, because some of you are slow to understand. So I don't blame you guys. So you have to listen carefully. So I'm going to begin now. Colonial expansion. The Highveld region, located in heat of southern Africa, saw an unprecedented level of colonial expansion after 1750. This expansion was characterized by a mix of both conflict and cooperation between British and the indigenous people. In this period, the British were successful in resolving conflict through a variety of means, such as negotiation and compromise. By the way, at school they will definitely teach you this, that the British were successful in resolving conflict. So it's not that really important. Now listen carefully. By understanding both sides' interests and needs, they were able to create an environment where both parties could benefit from their interaction. That, by the way. By understanding both sides' interest and needs, they were able to create an environment where both parties could benefit from their interactions. That's how they solve the conflict. That's how, by understanding both sides. Through this process, they were able to gain control over much of the Highveld region without resorting to violence of conscience. By the way, for grade 10s, you're going to write an essay because you guys obviously are new to grade 10. So you're going to write an essay that is about 1 page or 2 page, I think. But so that's why I explain this much, so that you guys can understand fully, so that you can be able to write an essay that is 2 page, by the way. The Highveld was a region of South Africa that saw a great deal of colonial expansion after 1750. This expansion had both positive and negative impacts on the area, as it brought with it both conflict and cooperation. The colonial powers in the region were mainly the Dutch, British, and the Boers. So guys, it's very important that you know this. I'm going to repeat it again. The colonial powers in the region were mainly the Dutch, the British, and the Boers. So now you know them. The colonial powers in the region were mainly the Dutch, British, and the Boers. These powers fought for control over resources in the area as well as for political power over its inhabitants. Guys, this is very, very straightforward. It's very, very straightforward. I've managed to put this so that you guys can understand. It's straightforward. It's not confusing. It's very, very straightforward. As I'm saying now, these powers fought for control of resources in the area as well as political power over its inhabitants. The result was a period of intense conflict between these powers that lasted until early 90s. Those are key points. It's very important to write these things so that you can get higher marks, by the way. At the same time, there were also instances of cooperations between these powers in order to achieve common goals such as economic development or access to resources. I've explained it, guys. You must understand it by now. By now you must understand this. I've explained each and every important point, because the aim of this video is to explain the point and to release the point and teach you the point. So I'm going to explain in another factor, or in another way, by the way. The Highveld became an important center of trade and commerce after 1750 due to its strategic location and abundant natural resources. This led to increased competition among European powers for control over this region, which resulted in several wars being fought between them during this period. It resulted in what? several wars being fought between them during this period. The most significant conflict were those between Britain and the Dutch Republic during the Dutch Republic. So guys, I've explained one of the most important things now. By now you understand the topic. When your teacher will say colonial expansion, by now you must know what you must talk about. So I'm going to explain it on another way, as I've said, and I'm going to explain it in various ways so that you guys can understand, so that the guy who didn't hear or the person who did not hear could get another voice. The Highveld of South Africa saw a lot of conflict and cooperation between the different colonial powers in the period of after 1750. This war was due to a number of factors such as competition for resources and desire to spread their own culture and religion. Don't forget this one. So the conflict was also caused by their desire to spread their own culture and religion. By the way, most of the people forget this factor, but I'm teaching you right now. This also caused conflict, culture and religion, and the need to protect their own interest. The period saw a number of wars between European powers as well as clashes with local African tribes. It also saw cooperation between different European powers in order to gain access to resources or protect their interest in the region. The expansion of the colonial power into South Africa's Highveld after 1750 was driven by both conflict cooperation amongst different parties. On one hand, there were clashes between indigenous African tribes who were trying to defend their land from encroachment by Europeans. We all know this, even if you haven't done history, you know this, that in the past, when the whites came to take over the African land, obviously it's our land, we must defend it. You can't just let people take over your land. So this is what happened in the past. This is what happened in 1750 also. As I'm saying, on the other hand, there were alliances formed between European countries in order to gain access to resources or protect their interest in their region. In addition, there was a lot of interaction between Europeans and Africans as they traded goods. In the past, they also traded goods, especially in South Africa. And I'm sure we all know the story of the mirror and the cow. So guys, this is what you need to know about the topic colonial expansion. I've explained each and everything, and I've explained in different ways. So now you understand, and I've also released one of the key points about this topic. So guys, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. And there's also another video about the history essay. Go watch it. It's very important, guys, that you understand all the essay topics. So guys, like the video and share the video.